These shoes have been frequently asked by audience since the channel started. The only reason I've delayed reviewing it until now is the colorway. Since I buy shoes with my own money, I just didn't want to get a pair that I didn't like. Now, the new colorway is here. Let's take a look at how they compare to the Plaid 1.5 and whether it truly has the potential to be a top-tier race day shoe. I created this channel to review running products from Chinese brands and improve my English speaking. Before I get into my thoughts on the Qiaodan Feiying Plaid 2.0, I do want to go over some disclosures. No one's paying me to make this video, and I bought this pair with my own money. Money doesn't grow on trees, so I will say what I have to say. So let's get into it from the specs. The official stack height numbers are 30mm in the forefoot and 37.5mm in the heel, with a 7.5mm drop. If I only had the Plaid 2.0, I wouldn't question these specs, but when comparing them side by side with the Plaid 1.5, things get weird. Officially, the only difference is that the Plaid 2.0's heel stack is 0.5mm higher. In reality, the foam under the forefoot of the Plaid 1.5 isn't just visually thicker, but also feels significantly thicker compared to the Plaid 2.0. And when wearing the Plaid 1.5, I would say its drop isn't the claimed 7mm, but more like 4 or 5mm. Just based on the drop, the 1.5 feels like most race day shoes, while the 2.0 feels more like Nike Alpha Fly. For the upper, the 1.5's one-piece knit design has been replaced with a two-piece in the 2.0. You can see the stitching line. Below it is a jacquard-ish mesh, while above it, the tongue and heel are a single knit piece. Both have a race day snug fit, but the 2.0 has improved a bit on the issue of pressing on the big toe. I guess not everyone has this issue. It probably depends on how big is your toe. The midsole has changed from TPEE in the 1.5 to PIBA in the 2.0. Both are soft and squish, but the 2.0 is slightly firmer. When running, the 2.0 feels more responsive, especially in the forefoot. The 1.5 has a longer compression stroke, while the 2.0 has a shorter stroke and reacts more quickly. The Qiaodan CPU also is one of the more durable ones, and this pair performs very well. Sizing is a bit tricky. A size 45 fits me fine when standing, but while running, my feet move forward, not because the top lacks lockdown, but more due to the heel design. From this angle, you can see the 2.0 leans forward more, pushing my foot ahead and leaving some space between my heel and the heel cup. If I could choose again, I would go at least half a size up. My size 45 weighs 237 grams, while the Plaid 1.5 in the same size is 244 grams. Neither is particularly light by today's race day shoe market. After the basics, let's take a look at the details. The Plaid 2.0's collar opening is much narrower than the 1.5's. Thanks goodness, it kept the heel pull tab. Otherwise, putting them on would be a struggle. The high instep feet will definitely have a hard time. The heel counter is on a stiffer side for a race shoe, but that alone doesn't make it exceptionally stable. The 2.0 does have two improvements. First, the medial side of the heel is firmer than the lateral side. And second, the midsole cutout have moved from medial to lateral side compared to the 1.5. Both changes help provide a better structural support from heel strike to midfoot transition. I even found a video on Chinese social media showing overpronators running in the Plaid 1.5. So these tweaks were definitely necessary in my own footage. The Plaid 2.0 is stable, whether during recovery runs or warm-ups. With that out of the way, let's talk about the pros and cons of actually running in it. The Plaid 2.0 has a relatively wide platform for a racer. The forefoot is roomy enough for wider feet, but the midfoot tapers sharply, and runners with wider feet might still feel a lack of support there. As for the actual running experience, the biggest strength of this shoe is its versatility for different foot strikes. Most race day shoes are optimized either for forefoot and midfoot strikers, or for specific cadence or stride runners. This shoe's forefoot delivers a lively response, and thanks to its high drop, heel strikers can get tons of bounce from the foam that Qiaodan calls Kung Fu Pro. The rebound here is amazing. If the 160X3 Pro or the 3.5 Pro represents the king of forefoot bouncy in Chinese running shoes, then this is the queen of heel rebound in my experience. But the high drop is a double-edged sword. Earlier, I mentioned that the Plaid 2.0's heel stack is almost identical to the 1.5's, while its forefoot is thinner. So for me, a midfoot striker, I prefer the Plaid 1.5. Its fuller forefoot foam not only helps with the stride legs, but more importantly, will provide better cushioning in the later stages of a marathon. More than a shoe's peak performance, I care about whether it can keep me injury-free to run another day. While wrapping up this video, I want to compare it with 361 Degrees Flame 4. The Flame 4 is 361 Degrees second-tier racing shoe, but in my opinion, it's definitely a game changer among this year's Chinese running shoes. Compared to Plaid 2.0, its forefoot energy return and rocker are better, but its heels rebound can't compete. If you are a forefoot or midfoot striker, the Flame 4 worth considering. Back to the Plaid 1.5 and 2.0, I think they should be seen as two different types of shoes with similar appearances. It's like the ASICS Metaspeed Sky and Edge. The Plaid 1.5 suits midfoot and forefoot strikers and strider runners, while the 2.0 works better for cadence runners and heel strikers. But they haven't optimized the carbon plate position separately like ASICS did, so they are not as extreme as ASICS. Audience asked how the Plaid 2.0 performs at a slower pace. I think it has a decent stability, but at a slower pace, it feels like my rhythm doesn't match its bouncy. In the gait cycle, when you are still landing, the foam has already started to bounce back. It requires extra ankle strength to stabilize it. So if you have been running for years, you can take it to race day. Otherwise, it's better to skip it. Those are my thoughts on the Qiaodan Feiying Plaid 2.0 after 50 kilometers. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this shoe or any tips for improving English speaking. Thanks for watching this video all the way through. I'll bring you more about Chinese running products. Please follow me and hope you have a good one.